We're live. It's exciting.
And it's totally exciting. I might give him a few more, but I know we're on a tightish schedule.
Yeah. So, why don't I just start while people are rolling in? Welcome everybody to our first finalist AMA group call. So, first things first, I just wanted to give a shout out to the DAOPunks crew, the people that help build the grants program, all the artists and creatives involved, the mods, the dev teams, and really just the whole community. And I just want to say thank you again to everyone who made this possible and who got us to this point. And of course, thank you to all the applicants. We can't wait to see what the future holds for you guys, and can't wait to learn more about what you got going on. So to kick things off, just a couple of quick reminders. The snapshot vote opens today. It's going to be open for 1 week, so that'll close next Saturday morning. If you do have a DAOPunk NFT, the actual vote is for DAOPunk NFT holders. Lastly, so just for the AMA today, just to go through the format real quick, we're going to start with, I'm going to give applicants each about 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes. It depends on how many are able to attend here today. But, really discuss your application or anything related to it. The time is yours. So get creative, get fun, get weird, just do what you do best. So if you have any screen sharing you'd like to do, you can drop a link. We'll try to accommodate in the AMA chat. For everyone that also has questions or things they want to ask offline, please post those in the AMA chat channel. All right. Then after that, that's when we'll get to the voter or audience questions, comments. We want to be respectful of time, but I want there to be an open dialogue. So. And then after that, it's just free form for however long we want to keep this party rolling. So now I was going to go in alphabetical order just to start things off. But just to accommodate, we have our one friend, Lynx, one of our applicants. He's on a very short time schedule here. So we're going to actually bring him up first. And whenever you're ready, Lynx, so you can go ahead and take it away, bud.
All right, thanks a lot, and I do appreciate the accommodation that you've made for me. Thank you very much. So as not to take too much time, I'll just launch right into it. I'm here representing Bankless Card, not exactly an individual, but a group, and I'll explain a little bit more about that. The basis of this card is essentially how can we bridge the UX gap between Web3 and the real world. And I think it's something that it's really easy to forget how many steps are involved to joining a DAO, how many steps are involved to being able to get a token. And another thing that is kind of easy to forget is that the feeling that you feel as being part of a DAO, that kind of like work that you do and the satisfaction you get from it, people in the real world, my mom, my sister, my friends, they just don't understand that. And so we really wanted to be able to figure out a way to bridge that gap. And we think that a credit card, this is kind of this half digital, half physical solution. It's in the real world, but it's also linked to Web3 in some ways, thanks to new technology. And so that's the idea behind this card. It's kind of like a bridge between Web3 and the real world. And the way that we're working on it first is that it's going to be a card for tokenized communities. So communities like DAOPunks, basically you get the card, you spend just as you'd spend on any other card, and you get your native token back. Now I know DAOPunks doesn't have a native token, but that could be Bank. If you do decide to have a native token, it could be that as well. So that's kind of like our launch for our feature launch. But I should mention that this project is still early in its phases. It's in the validation phase. We have 6 core contributors, and we have a plan to get us to launch, and we have a plan to essentially get us to the point where we can all quit our full-time jobs and be able to work on this. And to do that, we need to validate this project, and that's what we're asking the grant. That's the reason we're asking for the grant. We want to use the grant to basically fuel our marketing, create a direct connection with our audience using the grant from DAOPunks, and basically show that there are people who want this card. We'll be able to use this card. We'll be able to launch it, and we'll have a direct connection with them. And so that's the purpose behind it. And I hope I've explained it, because I'm not really going to be available for the AMA afterwards. But I will say that if you do have any questions, feel free to DM me. My DMs are open. And thank you very much for your time and your accommodations. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Lynx. That was awesome, man. Just right on that target time. But yeah, DM or even just use the AMA channel, and we also have a Cohort 0 channel for questions. So next up, alphabetically, I believe we have Ella Dayne. Unless last call for Activate Glacier or Aminta Pais. So if not, then Ella Dayne, you are up.
Sweet. Great to hear from you, Lynx. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here. I do have a bit of a cold, so you guys are going to have to bear with me here. I'm Ella Dayne. I'm a high school senior. I just finished up finals this week, AP tests. Always a bummer, but I'm graduating tomorrow, which I'm totally stoked about. I'm taking a gap year, and I'm going to go full-time DAO, beginning now. I currently run the jobs board for DAOPunks, and I'm earning 10,000 bank a month doing the sentiment analysis over at Bankless. I'm pursuing several other promising leads, including opportunities at Disco, Opolis, and I'm also going to be at Permissionless, so I'll be poking around for opportunities there. But I'm definitely going to use my gap year to really dive headlong into Web3 and into going full-time DAO. I'm really excited about this grants opportunity, and I would use the money to bridge the gap between graduation and earning a full-time sustainable income. It would go toward my minimalist cost of living to provide that buffer. And if you have any questions, please do ask, or also feel free to reach out via DM. Thank you.
Awesome. Wow. High school. Look at that. Already getting started in the DAO universe. Very cool. Thank you to Ella Dayne. So next, I'll call out for Lion 917. I don't think they are here. Next up would be Fiends. Not sure how Lion got with an L there, but Fiends, you'd be next.
It's okay. It's perfect now. Hey, my name is Fiends. January 6th is when I joined the DAO world. The reason why I joined the DAO world is because I think that DAOs have the opportunity to dismantle the nonprofit industrial complex in which I've been working in for a very long time. Throughout that 3 months, sorry, I still hear voices. I'm not sure if somebody can go on mute. Throughout that 3 months, I have gained an L1 status and now an L2 status in Bankless DAO. I am the executive producer of the upcoming Web3 podcast. I am driven by bridging the gaps between the complex systematic issues into the real world so more people can participate. That's why I'm bullish on governance design, because I think that if we provide an intentional governance design with the goal of increasing engagement, activity, and diversification, then that would outline into our real world as well. A project that I'm working on is bridging the gaps of employment, particularly those in the African region within the DAO ecosystem, focusing on the refi space. I have partnered with Climate DAO in this initiative. I'd be using this grant primarily for networking opportunities so that I would be able to travel and meet other people and go to these conferences, as well as to increase my knowledge within the DeFi space. With the extra bank that I've been gaining. I've been using it to learn how to like stake and decentralized finance, and being able to play and understand that, because I believe that within my identity, generational wealth was not possible, but within this ecosystem it is, but through learning, practice, and of course a network like DAOPunks. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Feems. We're happy to have you here, working on some very cool stuff. So next up, we have, I believe, I Speak Nerd. Are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Perfect. All right.
Thank you.
Take it away.
Hey, folks. I'm I Speak Nerd. Thank you for hosting everybody here and everybody being here on a Saturday morning. Not sure what time it is for you guys, but it's early on a Saturday over here. I'm here basically in the DAO space because I'm super energized by the cooperative nature of it. In other words, we take this this crazy crypto world in this finance world where so much is competitive and zero sum and everybody's trying to take advantage of everybody else. And we could turn this into a co-op situation. We can turn it into a co-op game where you benefit, I benefit, we all benefit. And it's this giant coordination aspect that's super intriguing to me. I started in Bankless DAO in December or late November of last year, and have, like some others, have kind of earned L1 and now L2 along the way. And in doing that, I found like the Bankless DAO gave me a very very similar feeling to the only other place I've experienced this is working my senior year of college, when we had a group of us, maybe like 8 of us, that would come in on a Saturday and work for 12 hours on one class in particular's homework. And like it was very, very difficult, very intellectually stimulating. And we didn't all just work that time. We would goof off and order food in and just run around a bit and just have fun with it. And it was this amazing intellectual opportunity. And like our group expanded over the course of the semester. And by the end, I think we had like probably 15 people who were coming in to work on this stuff all together. And that was the most I've learned in doing work on my own or as part of a group in a short time. And it was just like an amazing experience. And like Bankless DAO is the only time since then that I've really experienced that kind of feeling again. And that, to me, is very, very precious. And I want to expand that, the ability and the opportunity for people to have that kind of experience to others, and to open up this world of open finance to other folks. And that's why I've been doing education over at Bankless Academy now for about a month or so, month and a half, 2 months. I don't remember. It's been a little bit over at Bankless Academy, looking to build out education courses with helping people learn how to go bankless and learn how to work with Ethereum wallet and stay safe in Web3.
30 seconds,
well.
I Speak Nerd. 30 seconds.
All right, thank you. Along with helping to build out a boot camp and training program for community managers over at WGMI. Basically, the DAOPunks grant is to help me sustain my personal expenses so that I can continue to do that kind of work and continue to open these opportunities up for other folks. Thank you for listening, folks, and thank you for being here and giving us the opportunity.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. Yeah, a lot of Bankless folks representing today. Love it. Next up. So, yep, we already talked to Lynx. So that means next up we have Live Fast. Live Fast, you want to take the stage?
GM guys, yeah, thank you for this wonderful opportunity to talk to you guys. So I am applying for this grant to actually just better educate myself and how to learn how to code in this space. As I mentioned in my application, which you guys can all read up on the IPFS, the grant is actually there to help sustain some expenses while trying to learn how to code in Python and Solidity to eventually learn how to write and read smart contracts. I've curated a type of timeline and a plan of various different programs, online resources, some online classes, and actually found a few private tutors that would help teach me how to both code and learn Python and Solidity, as well as a few other languages as well to try and help further my understanding of this to help contribute more to the DAO space. The grant itself will help actually pay for a lot of like aspects of with regards to like licensing fees for certain programs, pay for private tutoring, the certification for online classes, and actually also go towards the private tutoring to help ensure this. As with this, there's a wealth of information on the internet. Not all of it is fully accessible, and some of the best things that you have to learn, you actually or do require a little bit of money to help better educate yourself. And that's really what the grant is for, is to help better educate myself, so that way I can actually give back to the community. As you know, I am a very big contributor to DAOPunks to help contribute to our community, and I want to give that back. Thank you guys for your time. I really appreciate it.
Rock on. All right. Thank you, Live Fast. Yeah, definitely a native DAOPunk there. So next up we have, let's see, is Lucy Q here? I don't believe so. No. Okay, well then we'll move on to the M's. So Marcus, looks like you're here if you want to take the floor.
Hey everyone, just want to check in. I made a little presentation. Is it fine if I go ahead and share that with you all? Should just be able to share my screen.
Go for it.
Awesome, great. 1 second. Okay. So, GM everyone, my name is Marcus. I am from Guatemala. I want to share with you just sort of 3 pillars that drive me and my passion. So first one is impact. Being born and raised in the highlands of Guatemala, I spent most of my time really dedicating towards helping the most marginalized communities around the country. I then have worked at a creative production company, creating impact initiatives linked to art and impact, including the world's largest art project for charity. And whilst doing my graduate degree, developed a deforestation mapping program using AI and machine learning to map deforestation practices and prevent them, and currently involved with essentially creating a way of enhancing the way that we have our relationship with food production systems. So on the community side of things, have worked in IRL communities, including the Conduit in London, lots to say there, as well as the Forward Foundation. It's quite a substantial foundation based out of the US, working on racial justice and social justice issues. And then on the Web3 front, my background comes from working at Zash. It's an NFT analytics community-driven platform. I was a founding core contributor at CityDAO. And then I'm working on supporting the development of a real estate development project. As far as the grant goes, I'd be using it for 2 things. So one is I have a social enterprise called Lamina Pop that we are developing in partnership with the University of Cambridge and Santander Bank. I'd be utilizing the grant to essentially roll out this project. I'm currently looking at some Web3 native grants to build out some houses. On the top right, you'll see a photo of people's usual living conditions and the type of living environments we can create for them. And the next big venture is to develop houses for a women's cooperative. The second thing, what I'd be using the grant for, would be for a project called Cohere. We're essentially setting up co-living communities around the world, centered around offering the opportunity for people to live freely, work remotely, and thrive together. We're currently hosting a Coherence Lab in Guatemala, and happy to dive into that. But that is all for now, and I appreciate your time.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. Just being able to see you out there actually making a difference. Very cool. So next up, we just, I believe Lion just joined. Lion 917. If you're here and you can hear us, the floor is yours, buddy.
All right. Thanks a lot. Sorry for the delay. I think there was some time zone mix up in my head. So yeah. So I'm 9 months.
Hey, I'm gonna butt in here, Lion. I think we're having some connection issues. Can you hear me?
Have even gotten the chance to work with you guys, but I'm basically based out of India. I'm in my early 20s. I am graduating out of Los. Okay. Hello.
Yes. If you maybe just want to refresh your internet connection, we'll circle back to you, just because you're cutting in and out. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can hear me now or if there's a delay, but well, I'll just put you at the end of the list. So hopefully you can refresh that internet connection and we'll give you another shot there. All right. So while Lion's working on that, next up we have, let's see. Next up would be Saul. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I apologize. Saul Thorin or Saul Thorin.
Yeah, you got it right.
Oh, okay,
Hey, everybody.
perfect. All right, floor is yours.
Awesome. So hopefully I'm not breaking up. I am mobile. Been a very, very busy day for me already. It's about 11:30 here, my time. But a little bit about me. I started working at Bankless back in, I guess, June of last year. So I've been here very early on and have had the opportunity to see DAOPunks launch and scale, and it's just been really amazing and inspiring to see sort of what the vision for DAOPunks has become. And just trying to fund grants for everybody, I think that's really cool. So I've been in the DAO space basically full time this last 11 months or so, working between Bankless DAO and the Analytics Guild, and more recently governance. And then I also started an organization that does open source research, and we're building sort of like this academic journal that's on chain that provides intellectual property NFTs to the DAO owners or members, and it's called Talent DAO. So it's mostly a big group of like researchers, data scientists, organizational psychologists. But there's also a lot of cool degens and some bankless culture that's infiltrated in a very good way our server, much like it has DAOPunks. So I think like I'm a big fan of bankless culture. And I'm more recently working with Lobby 3 DAO too, which they're trying to get into Web3 advocacy on DC and kind of like start trying to create a voice for ensuring that there's.
When do you need it by?
Oh, looks like we might have got rugged a little bit there, but
Can you hear me?
yes,
Can you hear me?
but yeah, just one last wrap up statement because we gotta keep it moving. So just want a few more seconds. Go ahead and wrap up.
Yeah, so I think that the main time I want to take is just what I'll use the grant for. So we've been funding open source research projects at Talent DAO for about 6 months now. We're completely bootstrapped, and we are public goods. We've raised grants, and pretty much all of the operational budget and all our business expenses has been my personal savings since October of last year. And just going into the bear market, anything that can provide more collateral. I'm a total hodler when it comes to ETH, but it's really tough right now. Everything's down. So anything that can help try to stabilize my community and myself during this time is very welcome. And apologize, I'm not in like the best spot right now.
No problem.
For this.
You came in loud and clear.
Saturdays are very tough for me. But very honored to be here that I'm even a finalist. And yeah, thanks everybody.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much.
Am I audible, guys? No.
Hello? Is that Lion?
Am I audible now? Like, is it proper now?
Still seems to be having some issues. I don't know if I'm the only one.
Okay,
No.
okay, I will sort it out.
Yeah, Lion, you're just a bit rugged, so maybe try to get to a better location from which to speak, and we can drop you to the end of the call.
Yeah, because I think we only have a couple more left, and then we'll circle back around to you, Lion. All right, so next up, I believe it is Speak Ease or Speak Easy. You're up, man.
We Speakies. How we doing?
Speakies. All right, you got the floor.
My name is Dave, aka Speakies. I spent the last decade working in hospitality as a server and bartender. I'm pretty new to Web3. I've only been lurking in Discord since about February. Currently contributing to Cabin, doing some design work with their media guild, and I'm about to actually host and launch their TikTok. I'm in the process of launching my own DAO, Speakeasy DAO, which would be a reverse speakeasy of sorts. So the front-facing part of the business is a cafe, bar, and spirits company. The core business will actually be Web3 education and incubation. As far as what the grant money will be used for, it will be used for premium subscriptions to my personal tech stack. So Canva, Discord, Illustrator, amongst other things. I also have to up my content creation game, so some of the funds will go towards purchasing different tripods and lighting kits. And then some of the funds will actually be used to begin production of the first product that we'll ship, which is actually a bottled cocktail called the Toronto. I think what might be left of it would probably be used to help me go down to a 3-day work week and then not feel like I have to compromise on some of my expenses related to Web3 projects. Obviously, I want to thank everyone for showing up today. I want to thank DAOPunks for hosting this, and I'm really excited about the opportunity. Thank you guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. And if I understood that correctly, that was an actual drink that you're, physical product there. We'd love to get some samples.
Oh, absolutely. Tech company shipping our first product as a bottled cocktail.
Wow. Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much. Next up, we've got, I believe it's Tom. Tom, are you here? Tom Tranmer?
Yeah, I'm here, folks. Thanks very much for having me. Everybody hear me okay?
Coming in loud and clear.
Thanks, Garrett. So just to let you guys know, I'm a web guy. I'm a tech guy. Been about 15 years working on Web 2. Since the Bankless DAO launched, I've been a member there. Since the DAOPunk mint, I've been a member here. It's shortly, I suppose it would probably be about September, end of last year. I had an idea. Personally, I am love to go by first principles, love to think about things from the very beginning. And I learned by building. So I had a thought about the 1 billion onboarded to crypto goal presented by the Bankless DAO. And I had a couple of thoughts that made me concerned about this being a difficult goal to achieve, because I've had a very difficult time trying to onboard non-technical people, and especially non-financial, non-technical people into crypto. So my thought was, what if you had an ideal onboarding app? If you had something that was going to be sort of perfect for those people who were non-technical, those people who were sort of keen to learn about what you wanted to teach them, but were sort of unable to get over that technical hurdle or that financial hurdle to get there. So in that regard, I came up with an application that is called Crypto Poker. The application therein is designed to be a game for your crypto community. So the idea behind the game is it would be a relatively easy game to learn. Not everybody, but a large percentage of people familiar with poker, the game, they know about hand rankings. And so this would be an NFT, collect poker hands and trade them game. So the game would last for a month. The game would be designed such that each hand that you minted would be permanently registered on the blockchain, would be stored in your wallet, and would be scored individually. So on aggregate, each player would then get a total hand score, and we would reward prizing at the end. Now, the real unlock of this game, there's nothing super fancy, super amazing about it, but is that it would be white label, implementable for all communities. So say, for example, if we wanted to get a DAOPunks crypto poker game, we could have a small internal contest. We could have a vote where, say, 52, 54 DAOPunks from the collection were nominated to each represent one card in the deck. The deck would then be implemented along with a fancy DAOPunks related design, and then you would run that game for your community of players. The long-term vision of crypto poker as an application is kind of like a permissionless protocol, like Pool Together, in the sense that people could jump in, they could spawn their own games, they could run their own games for their own community. And where we would build onto it is we would add the service of customizing that game for each individual community. So the high-level goals there are
30 seconds.
The high-level goals here are sustainable gameplay, low cost to enter and play, long-term games that keep your community involved, easy to understand, and easy to teach new skills to new entrants into the ecosystem. Not the least of which is minting, collecting NFTs, trading on an open market, and managing wallets and claiming rewards. So I'm going to be dropping a couple of materials in the chat group, and hopefully we'll be able to talk a bit more about it later. Thanks very much, everybody.
Very cool. All right. Thank you so much, Tom. Next up, we have Ursa Major. Calling Ursa.
Hey everyone, GM. I hope you guys can hear me.
Yeah, you sound good.
Okay, let's get started. So, firstly, I'm very honored to be selected amongst talented people. More about myself. I'm 30 years old. I'm from India, and I've been contributing towards the DAO ecosystem for around 8 months. I guess it started in the month of August last year. I've mostly been contributing towards translations. I've been translating a lot of documents from DAOs like Bankless DAO and Dayne Finance, and recently I started Pull Together. And I just translate a lot of their content to Hindi, and then we have newsletters, and then we have YouTube. And so the main focus of this is that I wanted to educate more people from the subcontinent about what the whole crypto community is like, because most people are unaware, and they're just buying coins that are not really going anywhere. They're just pump and dumps, and they're not investing in community-driven projects like Bankless or Aave or Optimism, Arbitrum. They're providing real solutions towards the future of the community and have tangible value in the future. So I started the Bankless Hindi DAO under the IMN project from Bankless DAO. And we started out with 2 people, and now after, I guess, 6 months, we have almost 30 active members, and we're producing content in 5 different languages, I believe. So yeah, when it comes to the grant, what I'd do is I'd put around 40% of it towards the DAO, so that we can take up more activities, to fund DAO activities, onboard more people to the Bankless mission, towards the crypto ecosystem, of course. And whatever remains after the government takes its taxes, I guess I'll use it to carry out my day-to-day living. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ursa. It's amazing what you can do when you put your mind to it, right? So next up, at the end of the alphabet here, we've got Velvet Bastard, calling you to the stage.
Cool. Thank you very much. Do you guys hear me fine?
Yep, sound great.
Super. Yeah, so my name's Philip, aka Velvet Bastard. That's sort of like my artist profile name, as well as just sort of how I'm known in the electronic music scene throughout Europe. Yeah, first off, I really think this is a great project. I'm personally like love the philosophy behind punk style of doing it yourself and sort of like ignoring the system and the structures. So when I came across this project about 2 months ago, I immediately fell in love with it. So my project is also sort of like in a line with a punk attitude when it comes to the record label model. So the old record label model that is still underway today is essentially dead. It's not sustainable. It's not good for artists. They're constantly being screwed over by the record labels, and it's been dead since the MP3 revolution. So what we've seen a lot of artists do now is go independent route. However, when you're an artist starting out, you are essentially broke. So you don't have any money to get access to tools, equipment, resources, and then that just becomes sort of this really difficult uphill battle of getting access to those things. And what I would do with the funding that I would get for this grant is build out a new version of a record label in the form of a DAO with also like NFT staking, so other artists could bring in their communities and have their NFTs being staked in order to earn an ERC20 token, which would be then used to be used on a marketplace. And this marketplace would be focused on artists or anybody who would even be interested in working in the music business. So like if you're somebody who can do really good press releases, you can come into the marketplace, offer your services in a currency that's actually not really, that you essentially earn by taking part in the community. And through that, there's this sort of trade-off where other artists are able to work with each other without having to pay each other, but there's going to be some form of payment that isn't connected directly to money, but it's more connected to your own contributions to the system. So the reason why I came across this is a lot of the music scene that I have been around in Europe, Germany, Austria, and Italy, it's very collaborative on a DIT basis, do it together. And I've seen a lot of artists over contribute to the scene while other artists are under contributing. Because everything is sort of implicit in reciprocity based, there isn't any way of actually having a trade of value. And I see this being like
sorry, Velvet, 30 seconds.
Okay, so I see this value trade as beautiful. However, since there isn't like any numbers to it, it's a little bit difficult for people to feel like they're getting their fair share of what they stick into the community. And that's essentially what this money will go to, is further funding this project or actually really building it out. I really want to bring this into, I would stick the money into sort of the UI and the smart contracts for the staking. And yeah, it's really ultimately to get tooling, resources, and networking for the artists in Web3. So thank you very much.
All right. Perfect. Thank you so much, Velvet. Happy to hear we're supporting so many different types of industries today, people working all across the world. So next up, we're going to rewind, go to Lucy Q, and then we're going to give Lion one more shot after that. So Lucy, the floor is yours.
Yep. I'm just going to share my screen. I'm just going to present the two projects I'm working right now.
Okay.
Yep. Can you see it? So this is one of the projects. Right now I'm living in a co-living space, which is like 706. It's like one of the biggest co-living community in China, and then it has like a different like co-living space across like the globe. So, but now like there's like issue that maybe the members within the community want to exchange their space, like maybe during summer or like spring trips. And then right now only like one person is handling all the issue and all the inquiries. So I just create this platform for them to like exchange their own space within the community. So this platform is specifically for like a for your first or second degree connection within the community. And then it's just gonna show some of the basic functionality. Like for example, you can create your own community, and then you can, if you're the admin, you can add a member to it. And if you're a part of the community, then your posts are also being shown under the community itself. So it's more of like an Airbnb for like a community, or like a co-living communities, or like a decentralized communities. Just refer back to like a Cohere DAO. They might have like different places across the globe. So they might want something like this to allow the members to exchange their own spaces in the Cohere DAO more easily than if just like one person will manage everything. I'm still trying to figure out how to like integrate like a Web3 into it, but this is just some side project I'm working on right now. So I hope I don't spend too much time. I'm gonna show you the second project I'm working on right now. Just gonna let's see. Post this one. The second one I'm doing is more of like what you're doing, like the DAOPunks. It's like a fundraising for quitters, basically. So it's called Quitter DAO. I already put everything on the test network, so it works. I create like a 10 automatically generated DAO NFTs basically, and then it has like 3 customizable like unique attributes, which is the name, your name, and your position, the company name, which I make up. So the reason for this project being created because I just quit my job like a week ago from my original company, Goldman Sachs, and then trying to figure out like my what's my next steps going to be, and then because I quit within 1 year, I have to pay them back like 35K bonus. So I was thinking maybe I could create something like this just to fundraising people who want to like quit their job but don't have the time to, or don't have the money to do so, and then just like give them the chance to do like a
30
to give them
seconds.
like a vacuum, like a vacuum money to help them to get through like a period of time, like a 1 month of time for them to think through like what they want. So it's more of like a fund for people who want to transit from their old job to new jobs. And hopefully like Web3 jobs, I guess. So that's my 2 projects right now. So I'm gonna stop sharing. Thank you. Yep.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Lucy. I'm glad you made it. So I'd like to give one more shot. Lion, hopefully we got a good connection now, but I'll give you the floor.
Am I audible?
You sounded good so far.
All right, great. So yeah, I think I should start. Hi guys, my name is Lion917. I just want to thank all of you for the opportunity to be here. And I think I have been, at it in DAOPunks, just asking when is the actually cohort happening since last March, and I'm glad it's happening right now. And also I'm a little intimidated because a lot of people here had a lot of projects to show and everything, but actually I guess I don't have a product that I want you guys to invest in. But I think my pitch here is that I am basically, I want you guys to bet on me. And yeah, I don't have a pitch, but I can at least show you guys what I look like so that, you guys can at least assess the person by, understand my passion for Web3. So I'm in my early 20s. I'm based out of India. I am graduating. I just graduated, and I'm bar license is pending. I am from one of the top law schools in the country. I used to work with the Cambridge University in one of their startups. And yeah, and I was set for a proper law firm career, but then I quit all of that earlier this year. And so Web3 is not just about creativity or doing something new, but it's also about survival and freedom of being for me. Other than that, what is my one main mission? And I think I don't, it's like a lot of times I feel I'm cocky enough to say it, but sometimes saying it, you manifest it into the nature. So I actually want to start India's first Web3 native law firm. And I come from a conservative background with respect to like legal, but also cultural. So the point is that what I'm doing here is actually something very new. A lot of people might say I'm taking a risk, but I think I'm not taking a risk. I'm just being innocent right now, because I just don't know the challenges, and I'm trying to face them head on. And the biggest challenge that I face right now is that I have to say yes to everything, basically, because I survive paycheck to paycheck. So the thing is that it's really not a choice for me when it comes to work. So it actually takes away from a lot of structured thinking, because I am not able to plan long-term things. So when it comes to what I'll be using the funds for, that will actually be to sign a 6-month lease on a proper workspace. The environment that I work in, it's not very conducive to do the legal work that I want to do. I need an isolated space where I can work properly, and maybe even give other people with legal background an opportunity to work with me, and to basically help this space. With respect to what are my 5 goals for this year, it's very simple. I don't it's basically, I want to create an interactive portfolio of my work. I want to have a proper website. I want to start a monthly blog. Then I want to basically incorporate a legal entity which will essentially provide legal services. The cost is a little higher than I had expected. I want to create a physical workspace, and then I want to also travel to 2 foreign conferences. Just last point that I want to say,
30
that
seconds.
this Yes, yeah. So this grant for me is actually not just about that 1 ETH that will come in, but also what it represents and what it comes with, all of it, right? Firstly, the DAOPunks support is very valuable, but other than that, at least the bet that I'm taking on myself, it will be ratified. That I know that there are people who believe in me, who believe in what I do. Obviously, making it to top 15 was one of them, but yeah, actually getting the grant and then supporting, that would actually be a pleasure. So thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you so much, Lina. I'm glad we got a chance to meet you there. I was a little worried at first with the connectivity, but love the ethos. Love, you want to get out of that corporate world and join the DAOPunks, the DAO space. So very cool. I want to give one last call out. I believe we heard from everyone now, but just one last call out in case I missed you. Please speak up. But I believe all the applicants that are in attendance had a chance to speak. So now we're just going to move on to the last part, which is just to open up the floor and hear what, if any, questions our audience has, or our voters. So let's open it up. All right. It looks like, I know it was a lot to take in. So
I think Sinjin's maybe trying to speak.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. Thank you for everybody who shared your where you're coming from. This is really great. I'm curious if anyone has an idea, like what unique challenges do you think you're going to face, and how do you plan to overcome them? Thank you.
All right, so that was to everybody. So Velvet, looks like you were the first to unmute. So go ahead.
Cool. So since I'm doing like a record label concept, I've already thought about the challenges, or actually I've already faced the challenges somewhat. Most of the people who are in Web3 tend to be sort of like front runners. There's not really much going on in the music scene. Actually, there's actually a lot going on in the music space when it comes to like innovative artists and everything, but there's not really many fans out there, and that's sort of like the big hurdle that I see when it comes to like onboarding people, especially like when it comes to NFTs. And I think one of the big problems is also the cost of entry for some fans. If they're going into ETH and the gas fees, they don't understand the concept, because especially if you're new and you're just coming in for the art, it's a little bit mind blowing to drop just $300 worth of ETH to have access to something, and then like 50 of that's going to gas. So our project would be, we're really thinking about bringing it onto Polygon to at least reduce the costs with gas fees. And another thing when it comes to sort of like the adoption, I think what's really crucial for our project to at least get more music fans involved is to do cross promotion, and that's why we would really want to do staking, where other NFT artists who already have communities can come in and have their NFTs be staked on our smart contract to be able to earn the token, and also just have like fans being able to cross jump between different artists that are within our community. I really do see the adoption
30
being
seconds.
the most difficult part about it. Yeah. So.
Can I also take a crack at the answer?
Sure.
Yeah, so the biggest challenge that I face today is actually not just the money, but actually establish a proper legal practice, because right now, like 60% of my work is still legal operations or just operations. So I enjoy it, but to build actually a proper law firm, I think I need to figure out how to onboard clients where I do work just and solve their legal needs, because I'm more involved in like legal operations. So for example, I'm the project manager for Bankless Legal Guild, where majority of my work in that role is actually managing the guild, like helping the projects rather than actual legal work. And the way I want to overcome is that actually to be selective, become more selective about the things that I do. Like I am part of all the legal groups that I can be, but a lot of times I just don't have the bandwidth to solicit enough work. So yeah, I mean that's how I'm going to solve it. Yeah.
Do you mind if I hop in here?
Please do.
Awesome. So thanks for the question. Really appreciate it. I'd say for me, especially being in Guatemala, which generally crypto adoption has had its challenges and stigma around it. One of the key things that I want to do with my projects, because we're working with local communities, actually, for example, and I was in conversation with Bo about this, is essentially creating access for DeFi rate loans, be able to offer people who usually wouldn't have that opportunity, and that in and of itself just carries a lot of inherent challenges. So I'd say, just from that perspective, that's one of the most challenging things is driving consumer user adoption in order for people to be able to access DeFi products. And but I think it's an exciting challenge. And
Awesome. And just if you could, guys, just say your Discord handle when you're answering, just for anyone that's not visibly seeing who's speaking. So we just heard from Marcus. Before that was Lion, and first was Velvet. So anyone else want to take a stab at this one?
Yeah, I'd like to. This is I Speak Nerd. Thanks for the question. As far as the threats that are anticipated, is like I think with trying to educate and bring people into this space, we're seeing a lot of the same issues that DeFi in general is kind of handling, and wanting to make sure things aren't scary for new folks, and trying to make the onboarding and education is easy and smooth for people. But we run into, or I might run into the issue of kind of speaking in circles, and a lot of times in crypto we end up just talking to the people who are already internal to our communities, versus if we really want to be trying to fulfill the education mission Bankless, we need to be speaking to not just within our communities but outside those communities, and finding ways to bring on new people. Like I'm pursuing a couple different leads with wanting to bring on education for a lot of the NFT communities in my local area, and trying to educate them about DeFi and going bankless and that sort of stuff. In addition to a couple different strategies that the Academy is pursuing as an organization with our GM community and other things to, again, just bring in those, make the onboarding process more accessible and visible for people outside of our communities, people who aren't necessarily in the Discords. Thanks.
Thank you. Is that Live Fast?
Hey. Yeah, hey guys, Live Fast here. I just put my response in the chat as well, so you guys can read it there, so I can give my time to one of the other applicants here.
Awesome, appreciate it, and that goes for everyone. Please, if you want to, provide any materials or extra info, please continue this in the text channel. So, Ursa, did you want to go?
Yeah, I just wanted to conclude by saying that my mic got cut off, so I couldn't respond to your comment earlier. So yeah, it's been an amazing experience compared to having a regular job. I was a network admin for 10 years, but I quit all of that because the DAO ecosystem just seems so much more promising to me in the long term. When it comes to addressing some of the holdups that we are having towards South Asia DAO, is that the majority of our funding comes from the IMN grants program. And since recently the rate of bank is fluctuating, some of the new members that we've onboarded aren't comfortable in receiving reimbursement in terms of bank. So I've been doing that in terms of fiat currency, which is INR, and I guess getting a grant in ETH, which would be a lot more resistant to speculation, would make this easier for me. So yeah, that's another big problem that is solved. I also wanted to give a shout out to Lion. Hey, Lion. Lion has been a co-contributor of ours at Bankless Hindi since the last 4 months, and we have a podcast on Monday where we where we do it on Twitter Spaces, and we tell people from the Indian subcontinent more about what's happening behind the scenes in the DeFi
30
ecosystem,
seconds.
and people that are contributing in governance or DevOps or carrying out protocols in Ethereum. Okay, so that's all I wanted to say. Thanks for your time, guys.
Thank you. And again, that was Ursa Major.
Can I take a quick stab at this?
You sure can.
Awesome. I'm just gonna go ahead and state the obvious.
And this is Ella Dayne. Yep.
Yes, sorry, this is Ella Dayne. I think that the obvious answer for me is just getting started, and really just like taking that step to go full-time DAO. And something that has been really helping me with this, and that I'm gonna continue to work on, is stop thinking and worrying and just start doing. Really, just putting myself out there and going for it.
All right. Yeah, short but sweet. All right, last call on this question, then I'll see if there's anything else.
Yeah, if I could chime in. Hey, this is Speakies. One of the biggest challenges that I'm facing right now is launching a cocktail brand in Ontario is a pretty difficult task. The Liquor Board of Ontario is actually the biggest buyer of liquor and spirits in the world. And with this power, they obviously heavily regulate. If you guys think crypto regulation is heavy, spirits regulation is equally challenging. So the reason why I'm approaching this hard challenge is I think it's a great angle to kind of get into everybody's homes and to get an opportunity to speak with people that wouldn't really think about Web3 naturally. But the challenge is the way, the obstacle is the way, so I'm excited to tackle this.
No doubt. Thank you so much. Let's see, I think, yeah, so, yep, again, last call on this question here. If not, if you have any other questions for individuals or for the group, feel free to chime in.
GM, everybody, Hero here. One thing we talk a lot internally at DAOPunks, and also within the community in general, and Sinjin is, in my mind, the guiding light on this, is the importance of kind of having a solar punk mentality for the future of not only the space that we love, but of the world in general. And I'm curious, how do your projects, how do your ideas, how do your hopes and aspirations that this grant can help to fulfill or get kicked off, fulfill that solar punk vision of an abundant, light, hopeful, regenerative future? Thanks, everyone. And I really, guys, just informally, I'm incredibly impressed with all the applicants, all the finalists. And I thank you so much for taking the time to do the work and to get out there and try to make the world a better place. So cheers to you all.
Yeah, I'd like to second that. And yeah, so anyone want to take a stab at Hero's question?
I'm going to go ahead
All
and
right, I
type
can
my
jump.
answer out.
Yeah, go ahead, Marcus. Was that Marcus?
I think Marcus and I were simultaneous. You go ahead, Marcus.
I'm going to actually type my answer out on the floor.
All right, very good.
Perfect. I just wanted to say to everybody that for me, I know that coming into the crypto community a couple of years ago, I was kind of light on optimism. I was feeling a little bit down about the world and the state of the world, and especially the state of the tech integration into the world being sort of the path that I've chosen for my profession and career. But the last couple of years in crypto has really sort of opened my eyes up to that potential for a bright future. And for me, the biggest thing is I just would like to make a contribution. I would like to, do what I can to sort of contribute into the space and be a positive member. So I would love to be able to make something useful, make something that people can use and will use, and hopefully will bring positive feedback loops all the way throughout, and maybe reverberate around the world. Even we can always hope, right? Thank you, everybody.
We sure can hope that. Thank you, Tom. Anyone else?
Hey, folks.
All right.
Can I add something here?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Hey, so firstly, sorry I'm late. I'm also one of the finalists. I just wanted to say congratulations to all of the other finalists. They are some amazing people. A lot of them I've crossed paths with in the Bankless DAO, so hello to all of the Bankless DAO. But yeah, how can we create a regenerative future? I think regenerative futures are they kind of start with individuals, and in general, a few years ago, I've had to realize the fact that unless I kind of put some elbow grease into it, things won't change. Whether it's inequality or lack of education in a certain industry, or whether it's climate change or anything like that. So my approach is to sort of never shy away from where there's change and change is needed, and to just get stuck in. And I think my whole goal with this, and you'll probably read from the proposal, is to purely just invest in education in the space. I'm very, very new here, and I'm hoping that some of the things that I've done in the past will basically continue, because I haven't changed at all. I'm just in a new environment. So yeah, I'm really happy to be here, really happy to be amongst the finalists, and yeah, looking forward to the next few weeks.
Hey, thank you so much. Great to have you. For everyone, that was Activate Glacier Instinct. Activate Glacier Instinct. He was one of the finalists as well. Didn't get a chance to speak in the beginning, so glad you made it. That's awesome.
Hey, this is I Speak Nerd again. Going back to the solar punk question, it's like, I think with a focus on empowering and facilitating people in this space, and like I think that's personally what I love so much about Ethereum and working in DAOs, is like the empowerment, that collaboration aspect that I've already talked about. But with that empowerment, I think that's really was even kind of the idea of Ethereum, is like it's this generalized computing system where you can create anything that it could be anything you want it to be. You can create anything that you can imagine with it with code to make it do anything. And so like if we can help educate and help bring more and more people into this space and help give them the resources and the knowledge and the support in order to build that better future for their communities, for their peoples, to solve the problems that they already see in the world. I think that's the way we do that, is empowering people and empowering communities and facilitating that, and making sure we educate and help bring more and more people in. And I think that's how I'm aiming to do this. Thank you.
Has anyone heard about decentralized science?
In general,
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So just to add an extra layer of context, like for the past few years, I've been involved in quite a lot of science and science-related projects, and I think in the space right now we see a lot of DAOs that are around decentralized science, and the bit I'm most excited about is decentralized medicine. I don't know how many people are involved in the medical industry are here, but it's very tricky to work collaboratively in this industry. And there are some DAOs that are making that a lot easier. They're making it easier for labs to produce research that is patented, that is hosted on the blockchain via NFTs, and then from there we can sort of have this tie back. It gives us a way of patenting something that isn't really patentable. So so it allows the future development of these drugs. So a lab will find a protein, and then we go to Pfizer or some big production company, and we literally, if we use open source tooling, we cannot produce those drugs because the IP is out there in the open. So we have this tech that right now is very degen, PFPs and so on, but NFTs can be so much more and can really enable the future of medicine. And this is just like one sliver of decentralized science. Like how is it going to impact space, and how does it impact other parts of the scientific community? And I think that's where the Ethereum ecosystem, like I Speak Nerd was saying, that's where it comes in. That's where that ethos of open source comes in. Yeah, let's see what we can do there.
No doubt. It's really obviously, like you said, a very cool industry and a lot of potential there. So, yeah, just to wrap up Hero's question, if anyone else wants to address that, and then Activate, I also wanted to give you, after this question wraps up, an opportunity to just tell us about your specific application. So let's just finish off Hero's question here, if anyone else had a response.
Yeah, I would have a response. Velvet Bastard here. Yeah, so going down the premise of like the solar punk mentality and also abundant mindsets, I think we've sort of lost like our ways with that through the Industrial Revolution as we moved more into isolation just socially. And we were sort of pitted up against each other through consumerism, like, oh, this person has that, I need that too. Instead of realizing, hey, if I just befriend this person and I work together with him, I have the same access to the toolings he does, but he also has access to the toolings that I have. And I think really DAO, just generally the concepts of DAO can break that mold of this individualism versus collectivism mentality that we see in our society. And it just doesn't make sense that if your neighbor has some tools, why you can't just befriend them and share the tools with them. And that's sort of like the direction that we really see it. I've also been around a lot of different like hippie communities. I've lived on like campsites for a couple of months, and it's just very reciprocity based. Everybody brings what they can to the table, and everybody's sort of more respected that way. And that's sort of how I see the future, and that's what I also want this project to embody, but in the form of the music world and the entire music industry itself. And that way you would cut out all the unnecessary middlemen who control and regulate each little step in the supply chain, and these individuals in that world could actually just come into the DAO and just contribute their way, and in return also be rewarded for that. So that's sort of just my 2 cents on the solar punk thing, but mostly on this abundant mindset. That's how you get to an abundant mindset, is realizing the collectivism over individualism.
Hell yeah, man. Let's bring community back. I love it. Ella, were you going to say something there?
Yeah, I just have a really quick thought on this. Ella Dayne here. I'd like to never be a corp rat. I'd kind of like to be, DAOPunk forever and always, and hold myself up as an example that full-time DAO is possible, and you can really start from any age to really just emphasize that this is the future and that this is something that is meant for everyone.
Rock on. Short but sweet. Love it. Thank you so much. Let's see. Who else? Any other takers on this one?
I'm happy to just kind of add a bit more color. I posted my answer AMA. It's Marcus speaking, by the way. I mean, I think one of the core pillars for me, coming from Guatemala, the name of the country literally means land of eternal trees. Like, a solar punk future is the only future I see viable. I sort of dedicated my graduate studies to studying politics and philosophy of the environment, and I'm fully committed to bringing this future to light. So yeah, thanks for that question. I think it's a burgeoning conversation that's happening across the Web3 space, and Refi Summer is just around the corner. So excited to see how this community activity mobilizes to begin to and increasingly so make an impact in the world.
Yeah, it's awesome to see these experiments play out in real time. All right, last call. Very good. All right, well, before we open it up to last questions, I did want to give Activate a chance to do his, his elevator summary pitch on his application. So Activate, if you want to take it away, the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's going to be really quick. So like you can tell, what I'm excited about is this area of the world where you can use technology to spend less time solving these really difficult problems. And I've spent some time doing research in the past, and all the research projects that I've been involved in have been socio-economic and tech into one. And really, with Web3, I don't have all of the skills to operate here. So my pitch is the grant is basically going to fund that. I'm involved in a few DAOs at the minute. That is giving me a secondary income. So the grant is basically going to replace that, so that I can spend production work right now on actual learning, on more research questions rather than actually building tooling. And so I'm hoping that this is a respite for a few weeks that will then kind of allow that deep work to happen, so that we can generate some future research off the back of it. The main idea that I'm thinking about at the minute is in terms of wealth redistribution. It's a pretty lofty goal, but I've got a background with a system that is able to detect economic well-being from satellite imagery, and I want to take this one system and build it into something that includes a DAO and also a wealth redistribution program for areas that live on $1 a day. But again, this is not for the grant. The grant is essentially for me to spend more time learning about smart contracts and a respite to allow the research to happen.
All right, awesome. Glad you made it again. Thank you so much, Activate, and to all the applicants. So back to opening it up. Any other questions for the crew here? And I mean that not like the DAOPunks mods or crew. I just mean anyone, applicants and so on. And applicants, you're also welcome to ask questions.
I'd love to ask a question, Marcus, here again. What would the ideal outcome from sort of some of you on this call be for the engagement with a grantee? How would you ultimately like to see them engage with the community and sort of give back to the ecosystem?
Yeah, I'd be happy to take it, unless I've been speaking all day. So Maiko, please, if you want to speak to this, go ahead.
Oh, hey guys. Yeah, you know, we've gone through a lot of different phases of ideation as far as what that looks like, but I think that really it's just it's in the spirit of wanting to help others succeed. If you have ideas for what you think that should look like, we're open, and this is kind of our pathfinder round for developing the infrastructure for future grants. So right now, you know, we're looking at opening channels for each of the different grantees, and having an interactive kind of community supported help, you know, legion of folks to help you out here. So not only for the folks who win the grant, but for the whole DAOPunk community and everyone else here to help the grantees through their process. And so that just looks like, you know, active participation on Twitter, in Discord, in the real world, getting people excited about DAOs, and or if that's not how you're feeling, then sharing how you're feeling and sharing in the struggle, and just being really open and honest with all of the things. You know, it's really hard sometimes too, and this whole industry is not perfect, right? So we still need to find a lot of solutions to a lot of the ways that we collaborate and work together, and this whole thing is a big experiment to try to figure that out. So, you know, I guess the answer is kind of like the rest of the DAO space. It's like the answer is not yet determined, and it's up to all of us to figure it out. But we're really here to bring energy into the space and create the most value that we can for each other. And, you know, that goes towards future engagement too. If this is inspiring to you and if this helps you, you are invited to continue to contribute to the DAOPunks grants program and make it the best grants program that it can be.
That is some big DAO energy coming from Michael. Love it. One thing I just wanted to specify though is that our vision and our dream was to have a, you know, fully supportive community that can help grantees. At this time, we can't guarantee any mentorship or community support. We still encourage it and we think it'll happen, but just to reiterate, for this beta round, we can't guarantee it.
Yeah, I would. That's all true. But I think that if you pop in, you know, so we created in the server underneath the general and GM channel, a cohort 0 channel. And I think that if folks drop in there and post questions, update us on kind of thoughts and stuff, you know, you're going to get some kind of love and response. But it's true that we have no formal, you know, mentee mentor process. We talked about trying to implement that. It was honestly a pretty staggering ask when we figured out what it would take. And so we're doing a little bit loose, a little bit DAOy, you know, but the community, I think, will rally around folks who, you know, want a little bit of support during this process. And so, yeah, nothing formal in place, but DAOPunk strong, you know, and don't feel like you shouldn't reach out for support or for guidance or for questions, comments, like whatever. We're here for you.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
Yeah, please do. I'd be shocked if you weren't, you know, just surrounded by people that are willing to help and build with you. So
one thing I wanted to answer this was an experience I had in DAO Masters, which again, they sort of fund research. You learn so much from the researchers that present what they've found, and I think that's really a sort of healthy way to learn as a community. Have one person pick an idea that they're really excited about, have at it, and then present to the community. And then it's up to the community to say what they want to do from there. Yeah, that's how I see it.
yeah, and one thing I'm really looking forward to, which we're already seeing happen right here today, but what I want to see from the grantees is someone who's willing to tell their story. That would be awesome to me. If we were able to kind of lay out some, you know, just some really specific stories about how you got to where you are, what you're working on, where you want to be, basically just to pave the way for future people entering the space, entering DAOs, don't know what to do. In my mind, that would be awesome to kind of lay out a roadmap and a supportive community to help more people join. So that's what I'd love to see.
And I just want to add to, probably the best thing you can do is to execute on your plan. The plan that you have to go full-time DAO, or to enrich the DAO space that you've described in your applications, do it. That's really what we want out of all this. So go full power on that, and then we'd love to hear how it goes, as others have said.
Very good. All right, I'll open it up to questions here. I'll probably just take a couple more before we wrap things up. So any last questions, guys?
I don't have a question. I do have a sort of like comment and sort of just like my 2 cents from just generally the vibe that I've caught here. I heard it sounds like everybody here is passionate about this and everybody wants to build a brighter future. And I personally was just very inspired just seeing that there's actually people who are doing this, because quite often in my bubble that I move in, I feel a little bit alone when it comes to trying to build things within the Web3, and it becomes difficult. And we talked earlier about sort of like, or rather, I think what's also important that everybody here hears, and I'm gonna like try to adopt this into my philosophy, is like if we don't even get the grant, the grant shouldn't be like validating your idea, because I think all of these ideas are brilliant and everybody has their little corner, and not to be disheartened when it doesn't go that way. It's sort of like that's just the name of the game. You got to keep on grinding and keep going at it. If you truly believe in it, you just got to keep going. And it's sort of cool to see everybody here, and it sort of seems like everybody has that mentality. And I just wanted to throw it in the room that it's just this grant doesn't mean that your idea is invalid or valid. It's just an extra boost. That's sort of how I'm just seeing it, and I'm trying to adopt that into my philosophy as we speak here. So thank you.
That was hot. Thanks, Velvet.
Spicy. Yeah, no, great perspective. Thank you so much. And just a reminder in the same vein, like, you're welcome to apply to future grants rounds as well. Just because you applied for this one and maybe it doesn't work out, try again. Like you said, pick yourself up and we're getting some interference. Okay.
Fast racetrack.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just wanted to kind of echo that. I just wanted to say to my fellow finalists, congratulations. That was what a fucking milestone that is. I've read all of the applicants' applications as well. It makes me choked up to think of like what this could do, your ideas, your goals, and what you're striving out to achieve. Just know that like, from one random dude in the web space, like, I'm fucking proud of you all.
Here. That's awesome. And just briefly to follow up on Garrett's comment, I mean, we have enough, since we're denominating in ETH, right? 1 ETH equals 1 ETH, that we have enough ETH for about 8 of these things, even if we don't bring any more money into the treasury. And we will bring more money into the treasury. So, there are a number of grant rounds after this. I mean, in some ways, like a year and a half plus of grant rounds going forward. And so I couldn't echo Garrett's sentiment enough. Like, if you don't make it this time, apply the next time and apply the next time. We're here for the long game, and it sounds like y'all are here for the long game too. So we look forward to building with you in the space going forward. Really excited that you're here. Thank you.
I think possibly one last thing for me as well, just inspired by everybody that's gone before me, but I wanted to say in general that I think DAOs are those spaces where you can just do whatever you feel like is important to you. if there's been those times when you've wanted to do something in work and somebody's told you no, or it's a bad idea, or we can't do that, or we can't solve that problem, or that problem's too big, or why are you thinking about this, right? It's not your department, it's not your job. In DAOs, it's completely different. It's action positive. You have to move forward with what you believe, and no one's gonna go for it apart from you. So if you have an idea, have at it and see where you end up.
Man, you guys are getting me amped up here. I just want to go out and go build. Let's go. Let's go. All right, guys. I love it. Cool. So let's open it up. Any last thoughts, questions, comments before we wrap things up, guys and gals?
I want to put a big shout out to Sinjin and Crypto Bougie for putting together this art collection and raising all the capital that is being distributed for these grants, as well as everyone who's been along the journey and given their blood, sweat, and tears to this whole wild process. So thanks, guys, and it's been a blast. And your work is gonna really enrich the world and a lot of lives. So thanks.
Yeah, I too wanted to thank everyone who's helped create this amazing cohort project for funding people of the DAO space. And I wanted to say, give a response on the philosophy aspect of DAOs, but I couldn't fit it in a good speech, so I wrote it down in the AMA channel. Yeah, thanks everyone.
Awesome. Well,
Fantastic community, fantastic opportunity, fantastic conversation. Thanks, everybody.
Well, guys,
thanks for everyone's time, everyone. Looking forward to being in touch and hope to see you all soon.
No doubt. That seems like a good place as any to wrap things up. So, again, for any DAOPunk NFT holders, don't forget to get out and vote. Snapshot closes in a week. And thank you for all your participation, your hard work, and just continued dedication to making this space what it is today and what it will be tomorrow. So let's go, guys. Let's go.
LFG, my friend. Garrett, that was amazing work today. So shout out to you, pal. Did an excellent job emceeing. Congratulations. We're lucky to have you.
You've been a great host. Thank you so much.
Many thanks, guys.
Thanks so much for hosting. Take care, everyone.
All right. Good night and good luck.
Thanks,
take
guys.
care. One
Thanks.
love. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.
Bro.
Enjoy.
Cheers, friends.